Nigerian Army officer Lieutenant Samson Haruna has died from severe burn injuries after his wife allegedly set him on fire during a violent domestic dispute at Wellington Bassey Barracks, Ibagwa, Abak, local government area of Akwa, Ibom State. The incident occurred on September 22, 2025. Haruna, a regimental medical officer with the Army's 6th Battalion, reportedly had a heated argument with his wife, Mrs. Samson Haruna, which spiraled into a deadly confrontation. According to reports shared by counter-insurgency expert Zagazola Makama, the suspects allegedly doused the officer with petrol and set him ablaze. He was rushed to the military medical unit before being transferred to the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, where he later died from his injuries despite intensive efforts to save him. The suspect has been arrested and is currently in custody as investigations continue. The shocking incident, as it were, has reignited public conversations about domestic violence, anger management, and mental health support within military families, an often overlooked issue in Nigeria's security architecture. I mean, Mr. Kola, let's get your thoughts on this report.
It's another side story of when I say failed marriage or failed marriages, because before they get to this extent, obviously there must have been like some outlying issues between them, right? Because I don't know what sort of argument would lead to any party setting the other party on fire. I mean, for someone you claim to love, claim to have married, and claim to share life with, right?
Yeah.
So I fail to understand what could have went wrong. It doesn't mean these things could happen, but the way that it's happening nowadays, just to show that marriages are not built with good foundation. And when I say foundation, I'm talking about how much or how well people know their partners, right? Because I mean, for someone to do this, it's probably a thing of anger, poor anger management, and then anger management aside, we can't fail to remove the aspect of mental instability, because it's one thing to be angry and attack someone physically or throw things at someone. It's another thing to be angry and set someone ablaze, literally trying to kill the person. So I don't know where we are headed towards, in our society now, but the rate at which people take the lives of other people, even in marriages, is becoming scary. It's almost as if everybody is. It's almost as if chaos is in the air that we breathe nowadays. Because if you are not seeing something like this happening, it's either siblings or parents and kids, and it's such a sad reality that we are seeing in today's world.
Right. Now, from this angle of domestic violence, as it were, for a while, there's been a call that, how do we curb this? How do we tame this? When you look at it, like I said, a report we took on the show yesterday talked about the man that had, killed his girlfriend. He's a married man, but he killed his girlfriend for having an affair. Right. He went ahead, saw her with the man in the apartment that he'd rented the lady, and he went out to a bar, got drunk, came back with the full intention to commit murder. Right. Do you think that we actually talk about this domestic violence thing enough? Do you think that, the crime, as it were, when you talked about mental health, right, do you think that they do not know, or they're not sure of what this, intense anger can cause when they carry it out? Do you think we talk about it enough as a people in society when we're talking about marriages, given that, especially in a country like Nigeria, where, in some sects, for Christianity, for example, people go through this, whole marriage counseling. When you're trying to get married with the courts also, there is this time frame that needs to be given for notice before you guys actually sit down and decide that this is what you want to do. Do you think that, any of these systems already on ground is working, and we still have this rise in these cases?
Well, I can say for a fact that these systems are working on that, but the results, the reports we hear every now and then, it's obvious that we are not doing something right. And just like you rightly analyzed and asked, do you think we are talking about these things enough? I don't think so. I don't think we are. We live in a world where some might say it's a man's world, in quotes, where even the religion, societal norms are leaning towards the favor of men. And it's such a sad thing to think that even at this age and era, we are still talking about one party being I know it's a full-blown discussion for another day, when it comes to patriarchy and the patriarchal system that we exist in. But right, for example, the reason why I'm going towards the direction is this body, these organizations,
All right.
these spaces that are meant to talk about these things, or in quotes that are in the best place to talk about these things, the society as a whole, our culture, our religion, it's always going to lean more towards men and preaching to the women to endure, to be subjugated negatively, permit me to use that word. And I remember reading stories of it's about marriages and how to exist in a happy home. And people that are in marriages will go ahead and tell you things like marriage is nice, but there's a point where you'll be close to your partner where you won't really see all these gray areas of submitting and whatnot because there's love, in the open mix. There's respect, there's care, genuine care, and all of that. But you find out that people go into relationships or into marriages nowadays because they want to feel like a man, in quotes, you know.
So do
This
you
is not in
think
all cases
do
that
you think
men are always
this is this
uh,
way because because people are marrying for the wrong reasons? Do you think that is why? I mean, I went through the wedding photograph of this particular couple, and they looked so stunning, and they looked quite in tune with it. But you think that because given how many marriages we get to see every weekend on social media, if you're moving around your city, you see lots of event centers and halls being completely filled up. You think that we end up here simply because people marry wrongly? I think we end up here simply because people marry wrongly.
yeah, basically that's part of it.
Mm.
The reason why I went into talking about society and religion is because those important organizations do not help in terms of preaching what matters, with love, in terms marriages rather, which encapsulate love, even if it's abstract. Yes, even it supersedes just love. We have to talk about temperament, anger management, communication, understanding. These things are what makes up good foundation for marriage. We're talking about seeing pictures. I don't know, am I still audible?
Right, you are.
Yeah. We're talking about seeing the pictures of these couples and they look very, very happy. In most cases, in all cases, rather, marriage or the marriage ceremony is just a ceremony, right? It's not even marriage, wedding ceremony, right? It's just a ceremony. The marriage is what happens after the ceremony. So
Mm.
ceremonies can be just a facade, or even if it's not a facade, it's just what it is. It's just a ceremony. What matters is what comes afterwards. And some people just go ahead and this person is beautiful, or this man is handsome, or is rich, or this lady is looking, or sounds good, but fail to to understand, the kind of mindset that person is working with. He fails to understand if this man gets angry easily. He fails to understand if this woman gets angry easily. Look beyond just the physical things. Look beyond just love, and then decide within yourself if this is what you want to get into. Because at the end of the day, you find out that people get into relationships, into marriages, and then you'll be like, oh, I didn't know this person was like this. For some, that's when the parents begin to tell you, oh, it's like that, just manage it, manage it, manage it. And yes, there is like when someone's husband might beat the wife to death. Some might even be pregnant and they are still being beaten in their homes. And you hear rare occasions like this as well, where it's the woman that is being violent, and sadly things like this happen. So it's all about the concept of marriage, that it would be nice if these organizations are not being sentimental or patriarchal in preaching or talking about these things. We should try to lean more towards partnerships as marriages. I think I've thought about marriages in the past. If we treat marriages more like a partnership, a business partnership, where everybody wins, right? I feel like if you crown that up with love, which is of course abstract, whichever shade of it that you can offer, I think it will make more sense than when we all just try to want to undermine these
Right.
things, like all these little things that I mentioned earlier.
So, but you think these situations can also occur in partnerships?
Yes, it can, but I mean, just like you have a deal with a business, right, or with a company, or you sign a contract with a company. I mean, it will take quite a lot for you to now start beating yourselves up, because I mean, everything is signed, there's an agreement. When something happens, there's a legal and backlash and all of that. Just painting a picture. So when marriage is more like a partnership with love, everybody kind of, I mean, of course, you guys love yourselves already, but then again, you respect yourself, which is what you give in a partnership as well. So I feel like if people understand that as what marriage is, people would learn to be much more proactive rather than reactive with things. I mean, because you're a married man and you are cheating, right? Then you caught your girlfriend cheating on you, and you kill that because of that. It makes no sense, right? But that's the world we live in now. People just want to react to things and fail to look beyond, that anger or that pain in that particular moment. There are some things you just walk away from, and I mean, life goes on at the end
Right.
of the day.
Absolutely.
You don't have to react or take someone's life because of these things.